My name is Aygul. I'm a tour guide from Kyrgyzstan, and today I will introduce you to Samsy. Very popular dish. Well, not really a dish, it's more like a snack. There are so many different styles of making it because it's made all across different continents, and I will introduce you to the Central Asian ones. So usually in Central Asia we make samsy out of beef, lamb or chicken, and if you like vegetables you can make it out of clover, potatoes, chives, pumpkin, or you can also make it out of cheese. But today the one that we will make will be from pumpkin. So let's see what we got. Alright, so for the filling we have pumpkin, onions, we have beef kidney fat. We use beef kidney fat in order to make our samsy juicy. Alright, then we have salt, pepper, sugar, vegetable oil, and we have an egg and the sidana seeds in order to decorate our samsy. But in case of sidana, you can also use poppy seeds or sesame seeds. So let's start with pumpkin. Then we cut it this way. We need to make little squares as our final shape. Alright, so next is onions. We also need to make small squares. Alright, and the last one to cut is the beef kidney fat. Also we make squares. Alright, so let's mix all the ingredients. Alright, let's add salt, pepper, sugar, and tablespoon of vegetable oil. Alright, now we mix it. So the filling is ready. Alright, so let's start with the dough. Here we have cold water, some salt, and premium flour. So we take 1 teaspoon of salt and mix it in water. Alright, and start adding it slowly to our flour. Alright, so we have one mass for the dough. So let's wrap it in a plastic bag and set it aside for 15 minutes. Alright, let's knead it for another few minutes before we leave it again for another 15 minutes. Alright, so let's cover up our dough again and leave it for another 15 minutes. Alright, so 15 minutes have passed. Let's take our dough. Our goal is to make it as big as possible. So you can this way. Try to get the edges, the middle part not so much. So you should press more on the edges. So make sure it doesn't stick to each other, so you can use flour. You can pull it a little bit. Same technique. You would press on the edges. Alright, so here we have vegetable oil, margarine and melted butter. We put melted butter first. Our goal here is to mix all three types of oil together, and as soon as it gets warm, we are going to use it in order to spread on top of our dough to make it puffy. Because you know, in Central Asia we make samsa from puffy dough. Okay. So we keep heating it up until margarine is fully melted. Alright, our substance is ready. So now, to make the dough puffy, we spread the oil substance that we just heated up. Now we start rolling the dough. Try to pull it a little bit towards yourself. Now we roll it to make it more stern, so there is no air. It needs to be very tight. And in this shape, we put in a plastic bag and keep it in a freezer for 15 minutes. Right, so let's take our dough out. Alright, it's hard enough. Now let's cut it into pieces. Alright, so now you can take one and start rolling it. Also, when you press on the dough, you should press on the left hand. So with your left hand, you're pressing on it on the edges of the dough. So your right hand is just supporting the roller, but the left hand is actually pressing on the dough. In the end, you can just press on everything, and that's it. So we keep pressing on the left hand, and the right hand is just for supporting to make sure the edges are thin. Alright, so let's fill up our samsa. You know, this is the dough, it's about 60 grams, and we're gonna add the filling, which is also about the same, 50 to 60 grams. And the side that we use to put the filling in is the side where you can see less of the layers. So here you can see it has more layers, so we're gonna use it for the front part, and this one has less layers, so we're gonna use it for the internal part of samsa, so which means that we're gonna put the filling on this side, on a less prettier side. And here there are two forms that you can use in order to make your samsa. I will show you two. So this is the first one, in the shape of a triangle. We just make it a triangle. Yep, just like samosa, Indian samosa. Alright, there you go. Then you just set it aside. The second type also, see, this has more layers, it's a prettier side. This one has less, so we use it for internal part to put the filling in. So here, this is the second way that you could do. So now you take this out and put it in as if you're braiding hair. Alright, so this is my last one. It should take about 25 minutes for the samsa to be ready. So, alright, 220. Okay, so in about a few minutes, in my case it's 5 minutes, once the oven is heated up, I will put the samsa in. Alright, so now I will put an egg on top along with sidana. So to give our samsa toasty look, we need to spread it out with an egg. Alright, so now we use sedana seeds just for decoration. So you can also use poppy seeds or sesame seeds to decorate the samsa. Alright, so let's put it in. Okay, so in about 25 minutes it should be ready. Alright, let's check on our samsa. Ooh, it's hot in here. Looks like it's ready, huh? Hi guys, I'm trying the samsa that we just made. So I like the taste. It tastes good. And here I am in Atapchan. It's an outside sitting area in Central Asia, very popular in houses among locals. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying samsa as well. So enjoy your samsa.